There are superhero movies, and then there are movies with superheroes in them.
Oh, great. Here, kitty.
This list is looking at the latter. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 unusual superhero films.
You're probably thinking, my boyfriend said this was a superhero movie, but that guy in the red suit just turned that other guy into a kebab. Well, I may be super, but I am no hero.
For this list, we'll be looking at movies that don't conform to the typical superhero tropes, or else call attention to those tropes by playing them up.
Why I'm not Japanese, man? Put us down!
Oh, now you speak English, huh?
Number 10, Unbreakable.
Audrey, do you remember me ever getting sick? In the 3 years we lived in this house? In the old apartment? Before Joseph was born?
A superhero film directed by M. Night Shyamalan may not inspire confidence now, but we're glad it did in the year 2000. The movie follows David Dunn, a security guard with marital problems who survives a horrific train wreck without a scratch.
There are two reasons why I'm looking at you like this. One, because it seems in a few minutes that you will officially be the only survivor of this train wreck. And two, because you didn't break one bone.
With the guidance of Elijah Price, a comic book art dealer, David, along with his son, comes to understand that he has superhuman abilities. Unbreakable breaks the mold of superhero films by largely focusing on its characters and their relationships, leaving the superpowers to serve the story rather than the story serving them.
You should never do anything like this. You know that, right?
Yeah.
What do you do if something bad happens?
Get Mom.
Number 9, Mystery Men. In the world of Mystery Men, superheroes have corporate endorsements as well as arch enemies.
And is it true that you lost your Pepsi endorsement?
I hadn't heard that.
Mystery Men follows a group of struggling heroes who use a wide variety of unconventional equipment and abilities, including but not limited to silverware, shovels, and the undead skull of the wielder's father stuck in a bowling ball. When the city's greatest hero is kidnapped, the team sees their chance to make a name for themselves. Chock full of quotable lines, outlandish costumes, and hilarious relatable characters, it's no mystery why Mystery Men is a cult classic.
What's the name of this group?
The Super Dudes.
No.
We're not the Super Dudes. We don't have a name yet. We're definitely not the Super Dudes.
I gotta get home, it's late.
Number 8, KickAss. Most kids want to be superheroes. KickAss demonstrates why it's less than a safe career path, at least in the real world. The title character is a high school student who dons a mask and suit and promptly gets his own ass kicked, repeatedly. The two other masked vigilantes he encounters, Hit Girl and Big Daddy, who are more trained, heavily armed, and highly driven, don't fare much better, with Big Daddy dying in the course of the story.
You're the kindest daddy in the world.
No, I love you.
Hyper-violent, profane, and darkly comedic, KickAss brings the familiar superhero origin story back down to earth.
You'd rather die for some piece of shit that you don't even know? The three assholes laying into one guy while everybody else watches? And you wanna know what's wrong with me?
Number 7, The Crow. It's not often that a superhero tale begins with the protagonist dying. A year after Eric Draven is murdered alongside his fiancée, a crow brings the dead musician back from the dead to perform justice on his killers. What follows is a roaring rampage of revenge, with Eric using his newfound rapid healing abilities and mild psychic powers to wreak deadly punishment on his perpetrators. With its intense action, gothic imagery, and surprisingly touching message, The Crow is a superhero movie like no other.
Victims, aren't we all?
Number 6, Chronicle.
Matt, look at this. What? Look at this.
shot in the found footage format. Chronicle depicts 3 high schoolers who develop psychic powers after coming across a mysterious object in a cave. Like many people who develop supernatural abilities, their exploration of their powers is initially lighthearted, using them to pull pranks and become popular by performing magic tricks. However, Andrew, the primary cameraman, comes from an abusive household, and the bullying he receives ultimately results in his lashing out at those around him, culminating in a large-scale conflict in Seattle.
I should have been with you all along, but I'm here now, and we can stop this right now, you and me!
Besides its format, Chronicle is also unusual in that it's told from the perspective of the villain. Though some say it borrows a little too heavily from the acclaimed anime Akira, the film is still worthy of a watch. Number 5, Watchmen.
It's a joke. It's all a joke. Forgive me.
And forevermore.
This polarizing adaptation of Alan Moore's Hugo Award-winning, game-changing graphic novel depicts a version of America where vigilantes have become outlawed, and the world's only true superhero, the nuclear Dr. Manhattan, has become a weapon in the Cold War.
They are shaping me into something gaudy. Something lethal.
Meanwhile, the murder of a former Mask sends one of the final holdout vigilantes, Rorschach, after the killer. Though some critics and fans of the source material believe that much of the story's subtext was removed, Watchmen remains an engaging mystery with elements of a political thriller and some stunning visuals.
Perhaps the world is not made. Perhaps nothing is made. A clock without a craftsman.
Number 4, The Mask of Zorro.
Would you excuse me, Captain Love? Thank you.
The titular swashbuckling pulp hero is said to have been part of the inspiration for Batman, which more than makes him a superhero in our books. Apart from its 19th century setting, The Mask of Zorro is also notable for switching up the typical matchups you find in superhero films.
How I have dreamed of this moment, night and day, 20 long years. Really?
The original mentoring Zorro, played by Anthony Hopkins, is the one who ultimately battles the film's primary villain, while the younger Zorro, played by Antonio Banderas, fights the antagonist's second-in-command, who killed his brother. All in all, the film is a fun, period twist on the genre. Number 3, Deadpool.
Leave it, Brooke, in her general direction again, and you will learn in the worst of ways that I have some hard spots, too. That came out wrong.
Some of the entries on our list subvert superhero tropes subtly. Deadpool, meanwhile, points at them blatantly and laughs.
Wait! You may be wondering why the red suit. Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed. This guy's got the right idea.
From its opening credits, which are cliched archetypes instead of the actors' real names, to its after-credit scene referencing Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Deadpool revels in playing up the superhero movie formula.
Superhero landing. She gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Through its hard R rating, irreverent, self-aware protagonist, and stylish, well-choreographed action, Deadpool still manages to differentiate itself from typical superhero movies too. Though some might feel that the film's use of parody brings it closer to the very cliches it's lampooning, we think that Deadpool manages just the right balance through maximum effort.
Maximum effort.
Number 2, The Mask.
Uh-oh. Can't make the scene if you don't have the green. I better make a little stop.
You might want to check your fire alarm because this entry is smoking. I'm very sorry. Anyway, this movie may have the standard setup of a superhero story, with mild-mannered Stanley Ipkiss gaining supernatural powers from the title Mask, but its execution is anything but ordinary.
Are you on the list? No, but I believe my friends are. Perhaps you know them. Franklin, Grant, and Jackson.
The mask grants the wearer cartoonish, reality-warping powers, while also lowering inhibitions, meaning that the meek Stanley's first inclinations upon gaining powers are to use them to exact revenge on the people who walk all over him.
Now you have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well... Do ya? Punks?
The film depicts superpowers as being a double-edged sword, which was pretty uncommon in the early 90s.
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?
Before we reveal our top pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Don't steal! Don't molest kids! Don't deal drugs!
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
And you're going to make that happen by blowing up a building?
The building is a symbol, as is the act of destroying it.
What the hell's he up to? Kiss your ass goodbye! No!
Number 1, The Incredibles. Leave it to Pixar to be ahead of the curve. Coming out years before Watchmen or Captain America Civil War dealt with the issue of superhero legality on the big screen, The Incredibles tackled the subject with aplomb. What really sets this film apart, though, is its depiction of the challenges faced by a superpowered family, particularly as they must hide their abilities.
Bob, it's time to engage! Do something! Don't just stand there! I need you to intervene!
You want me to intervene? Okay, I'm intervening! I'm intervening!
The individual family members each struggle with the need to be special or unique, whether it's through a midlife crisis or teenage angst, making it very easy for the audience to relate to them. The Incredibles may not be conventional, but it's very No, we won't do it. You get the idea, though.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
Do you agree with our list? Which superhero film do you think stood out from the rest?
You broke my glasses! I'm sorry! Take my Raven! Put it down! Huh? You want down?
For more outside-the-box top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Hey, wait! You're my hero.
No. That I ain't.